everybody. I'm Melissa Banczak, and welcome to episode 82 of Books Cubed, the show where I chat with authors you should be reading. It is Thursday, November 12th, 2020, and I'm back after a short hiatus. I am very excited to be here today because I am chatting about genies and magic and bottles. It is so much fun. I am talking with AE McKenna, and we're going to get right to it. Okay, I want to welcome AE McKenna to the show today. I am really excited to have her here because I have been reading snippets of her new series. Actually, it's a prequel to her new series, and I feel like I know these characters, and I am really excited to read them when they come out. And her snippets so far have been really good, so I feel confident having her on the show and recommending her out to everybody. So, welcome today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Tell everybody you write magic. You have
Yes.
genies. So this series is the Smoke and Magic series.
Mhm.
And your
Yeah.
first book is Bad Luck Genie. And if you're watching on video, you can see, if you lean just a little bit to one side, there you go. You can see the cover, the front, and it's a Bad Luck Genie. And there she is, all grown up. I've been reading about her as a small 4-year-old. I think she was 4 in the prequel.
Yeah, she was 4 in the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell everybody just a little bit. Oh, let me read her bio real quick, which I usually do. So A.E. McKenna is from the Midwest, where she drinks beer, eats cheese, and pets cats all at the same time, and all things that I like to do too. So just tell everybody a little bit about what this series is.
Lucy has been raised a human because she was cursed. And so her parents are trying to negate the curse and everything. And she finds out that she's not human when her sleazy fiance traps her in a bottle and then sells her to pay off his debt. So,
Oh man,
yeah,
that
so
totally
she's got
sucks.
to.
So this is about her getting free and maybe getting even.
No, actually, when she's being marketed off, she accidentally creates a link with an undercover agent and blows his cover. And so this is all about them breaking that link. But her mom wants her to break her curse. So they're chasing after a relic, Rasputin's bones, which can grant impossible wishes like resurrection, kill someone, and freedom for a genie and still have all the power. And he wants to take over the Fey courts, and they have to get the bone first before him. And then she has to decide: does she break her link with the dude, or does she break her curse?
Now, how did she get her curse as a child?
Yes, her father is a legendary lucky genie. Like his name is Frankie Avalon, and his name spurred the real Frankie Avalon, the human one, spurred his fame. So he's really lucky, and he captured some evil fey court guy, and he cursed him to have a child that was the exact opposite of him.
Okay. Okay. And then her mother is
Yes.
also a genie.
Yes, she's a fortune genie, so she deals with money, currency, things like that. She has a coupon for everything.
Oh man, I want her in my life.
Yeah, I could have so many shoes.
Now this one is your first. This isn't your first book though.
Uh, no, not really. The first one, it didn't really get any traction. It was like a really long time ago. So
Kind of changing gears.
yes, the first one was a time swapped historical romance, and um, I was writing what I knew because that's what I read a lot of that, and I didn't really enjoy writing it, but I went with a self-publishing thing, and I stumbled across Terry Pratchett not too long after that, and I was like, this is what I want to write, and so yeah.
Yeah, a good one to emulate, definitely. So this book is going to be out by the time we were recording this just a little bit early, and when this does air, the book should already be out. And where
Yes,
will people be able to find it?
Amazon. It'll be on Kindle Unlimited.
Kindle Unlimited. I love Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
Love being able to just sit and pick books and read and read and read. I do miss. I mean, I like reading okay from a Kindle. I do
Yeah.
miss the feel of paperbacks. Will this be out in
Right.
paperback?
Yeah, it's going to be out in paperback.
Oh, so that's good. That's good
Yeah.
because yeah, some things. In the days when we could, move about the country freely, I always had about 4 or 5 books on my Kindle, and I would stand in line and just open my Kindle and read whatever I felt like reading or listening to nonfiction. That's mainly what I listen to is nonfiction. And then, even then, I would still, I'd be walking my dog and with a paperback, and I'd realize I'm in the middle of the street, which was not good. So that got me onto audiobooks. So are you thinking audiobooks also eventually?
Eventually, yeah, you
Yeah,
know.
I think that's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. So you are young compared to me, way young. So I think it's really smart to get started now. But since you've already started once and it really didn't work well, anything besides the genre, changing genres, anything else you would have wanted to tell yourself at the time to make it easier since you've learned more things along the way now?
Find people that are honest and willing to give you feedback, not family and friends.
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge one. And if you're listening and you're an author, hope you're listening. If you're an author also, don't share with your family and friends. They're not your audience.
Mm-mm.
Like my mother, I write, at the moment I write cozy, and she's constantly asking me, where's the love? There's no love in these books. I said, there's no time. It's a very quick, fast paced mystery. There's no time for kissing. And she'd get all upset. I want love. Say, okay, mom. Okay. I don't write that. But yeah, I think that's smart to find yourself. Have you found a group you think that you feel now that you fit in with?
There's a writing community that I'm a part of. It's called Scribophile. And it's just jam packed with so many people from all over the world. You can get any question you want answered. And, they also have tons of opinions too. So you got to take what works with your story, you know?
Yeah, definitely. If we remind me, let me put a little note. We'll put a link to the show notes, um, for people if you are looking for a community, to help with your writing. Now I know that, the big today, we were recording this early. Today is Halloween,
Yes.
and so tomorrow starts National Novel Writing Month, also known as NaNoWriMo. Are
Yeah.
you going to be participating this year?
Yes. Yes. I'm doing the sequel to Bad Luck Genie, which I also wrote Bad Luck Genie during Camp Nano, the April Camp Nano.
Yeah, they
So
have they have a camp in April and I think July also.
yes, yes.
'Cause I think I did it one July, a very long time ago. I did it so long ago that they still list Wisconsin as my home state, and that was like 3 states ago. So
That's funny. Wisconsin is the neighbor.
I can't figure out how to change it. So I just leave it, whatever.
Yeah.
So so you got it's going to be no, no. What is the genre for Magic Genies?
This is urban fantasy. I would say something like it's a humorous action adventure, and myths and legends, genies, fays, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I like stuff that's got a little bit of humor. Why don't you read a clip for people just so they can get a feel for what they need to buy, probably starting today. We'll have links in the show notes, and I'll talk more at the beginning and at the end about it.
Okay, so this scene that I picked is her in the bottle. She just got sucked into the bottle and she's freaking out. And I'm sorry for the swearing, sort of.
Oh, that's okay. I'll try to remember to warn people, but you're warned now. Cover the kids' ears.
Yeah. Okay. I yanked on the chains, but the cuffs on my wrists wouldn't budge. The sensation that my skin was boiling had reduced to a simmer and overpowered the dull ache from the stitches. Reese's laughter was oversized, like he was a giant, and I was poor Jack, waiting for him to fall asleep so I could escape. Oh shit, what did he do to me? I couldn't breathe. Squeezing pain bloomed in the left side of my chest. Help, I wheezed, then sucked in another shallow breath. Help! I gulped, glancing around. The room was bare except for the pole the chains latched to, but there was something else going on inside me. I wasn't sure what it could be. A presence, maybe? I didn't hear voices, but there was some kind of new power inside me. I didn't understand what was happening, but it felt like I could do anything if I weren't chained to a freaking pole in a, where the hell was I anyway? The room swayed, and my view of our bedroom shifted as if I was being carried. I fell against the glass, and through purple tinted windows, I realized Reese had picked up the prison he locked me in. His hand rubbed the windows, and the squeak grated on my nerves. If he thought he could summon me like Major Nelson did Genie, then he had another think coming. Blue smoke flooded the room, but it didn't choke me. Once more, that hot, prickling sensation ripped through me, and I was lifted off my feet. The air grew tight. I was sure my eardrums would burst at any moment. I screamed. I couldn't help it. Fresh air blew hair from my face and dried my tears as I fell on my hands and knees in the bedroom. I stared at the gold chains attached to the bangles on my wrists, leading to the bottle in Reese's hand as he set it on the dresser. Oh my God. Was I inside that? A sensation quivered beneath my breastbone, and I just knew it was the bottle confirming my thoughts. My stomach turned watery. Impossible. Wow. Reese chuckled and lifted his hands like he was framing me in a picture. It's really true. Here, put this on. He pulled me to my feet and handed me the tiny fez and veil. But something overtook me. For lack of better words, it felt like the chains attached to my wrists were also inside me, and they tricked my vocal cords. My spine stiffened, my shoulders squared, and my eyes widened. You have entered into a contract with this bottle. In no uncertain terms may you negotiate with this bottle and the power of the genie within. Reese's smile was dazzling. This is so cool. I hate invisible chains gripped my vocal cords again, and the bottle took over. The conditions are simple. 1, wishes require power, and you may only have the power of 3, combined or separated. 2, a wish cannot kill or bring one back from the dead, nor can a wish create life. 3, wishes cannot impact the emotions of others. The chains of my throat released me and I sagged. Reese regarded me with narrowed eyes while he rubbed his chin. I couldn't get enough air in my lungs. Spots formed in front of my eyes. I had to get out of here. I spun and ran for the apartment door. Just as my hand wrapped around the knob, the chains grew taut and I couldn't move my arms forward. No, 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 this can't be happening. I whirled, gripped the golden links, and tugged. Nothing happened. My heart jackhammered in my ears. Reese sauntered into the living room carrying the purple metallic bottle and cocked a brow. What are you doing? The tautness in the chains didn't slacken. They only seemed to dial in like a retractable cord to an appliance. I lifted my hands, brandishing the cuffs. The chains, you asshole! His face scrunched together. What chains? The ones leading from the bottle to my wrists. I pressed a hand to my chest, trying to still my galloping heart. This couldn't be happening. He must have slipped me some kind of drug. Oh, right, he nodded. Rex said genies reacted funny to gold. Rex? Yeah. He owns the Valley of Kings store downtown. I picked up some shisha there yesterday and I saw an engagement ring that reminded me of you, but it was gold. And he curled his fingers into air quotes, allergic to gold. I am allergic to gold. These bracelets hurt. I gripped one cuff and squeezed, twisted and tugged, but it didn't budge. I tried to wedge my fingertips beneath the bangle, rapidly blinking my eyes. If I cried, I'd lose all self-control. Help me take them off. Don't be a moron, Lucy. Why would he help me when he did this to me? What the hell am I? No one is fucking allergic to gold. I looked it up. It's hypoallergic, hyperallergenic. He glared. I used to find that expression sexy. It attracted him to me in the first place, but not now. I didn't recognize him anymore. Parts of my heart shriveled and broke apart. How had we ended up here? Maybe I corrected his words one too many times. Maybe I should have been more accepting of his attitude lately. Maybe I shouldn't have trusted him. Reset the bottle on the coffee table next to my phone. Rex said it's a genie thing. You kept this from me and you could have helped me sooner. I'm not a genie. But the bottle said otherwise. How could I not know this about myself? I don't know how, but I had the distinct feeling that if I really wasn't a genie, then I wouldn't be in golden chains right now, and Reese and I would be having a normal fight about wasting money on jewelry. Wait a minute, I wheezed in a breath. You were looking to buy me an engagement ring, but decided to chain me instead? You're immortal now, according to Rax. Reese waved a hand dismissively. I need to figure out what to wish for. Irresistible to women might be a good idea, but he leered at me. I wanted to shower off his filthy gaze. Instead, I straightened, mimicking the bottle. The bottle does not permit you to use me for sex stuff. The bottle didn't overwhelm me to correct myself, but that didn't mean I was right either. Your eyes didn't glow when you said that. We smirked. I crossed my arms over my chest, feeling naked. If you're so concerned about getting laid, why don't you take a shower once in a while? He snapped his fingers. I know. I wish to go back in time and change my bet from hoof hearted to mystery count. That race really fucked me over. My spine stiffened, and once more the bottle overwhelmed me. Time is a linear construct for humans. He pointed at me. See? Now I believe you when you say that. He rubbed his mouth, which means I just need to go for the obvious wish, doesn't it? I can't believe I'm doing this. Glee lit up his blue eyes and he rubbed his hands together. Genie, I wish to have so much money that I won't have to work for the rest of my life. Indignant fire snapped through my limbs, igniting my anger. Power sparked to life in my chest, zapped into my legs, and ratcheted up the vertebrae of my spine like electricity. The fine hairs on my body rose and my skin pimpled. Plopping my hands on my hips, I narrowed my eyes. Oh, you'll be well taken care of for life. Wish granted.
Dun, dun, dun. I think it's probably going to lead to bad things, I hope.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that, you think about wishes. And as you were reading, I was sitting there thinking, what would I wish for? I thought everything I'd wish for would probably end up in a disaster.
Yes,
You have to
yes.
be really careful how you word it.
Monkey's paws. Have you ever heard of that little story where the guy's like, I wish, for money or something like that, and his son dies in a war, and that's how he gets the money?
Yeah. And then he wants his son back, and then his son is sitting in the back seat, but dead.
Ugh,
Oh,
yeah.
so yeah, it's very creepy. Very creepy. And then I think he has to wish the paw away or something. I'd have to look that up to see what the full story is, but I remember it being very creepy. And yeah, I mean, the moral is that don't wish for things.
Right.
So, how many books will be in the series?
I'm thinking somewhere around 4 or 5, maybe 6.
Maybe
Uh,
six. So, in the first one, she gets bound as a genie. So, I'm thinking she stays a genie for a while, or is that
well,
kind of
she's technically always a genie, but right now she's a slave.
slave?
So,
That's it. I did it
yeah.
wrong. Yeah, she gets stuck as a slave.
And it takes 3 wishes to grant someone free will. So,
Ah, okay. So they have to use all three of the wishes to. Oh, interesting. I like that. I like that. So this is a whole thing out there, right? I mean, there's other books about genies.
there are some, yeah.
But so this might be an area then that there's not a lot of books already.
No, I've seen some. I've also come across other people writing some. So it's not, I don't see a lot, but there's a fae element to this, but so there's definitely a lot of fae books out there.
And what is that for people that don't know?
Elves, sort of.
Okay.
Uh, that's a really bad. They're fairies. Yeah,
So you've got the guy, and he's
yeah.
kind of a jerk. And so the guy on the cover, who is he?
Mhm.
Is he the guy that imprisoned her, or the one that she's kind of bound to?
This is the guy on the cover is Malware Tanaka, and he's the one that she ruined his cover. She blew his cover.
Okay, and that's not
He's
the
a
boyfriend.
no, no, not the sleazy guy.
Okay. So now for me, my main character is a woman. Your main character is also a woman, but there are men that she
Mhm.
interacts with, and I find that I don't write my main characters. She has a brother who's famous, and I don't write him into my books a lot, just because I don't know. I don't feel like I quite have a handle on who he is. I mean, I kind of do, but it's hard to write his character, so I don't write him often. Do you find that you have a good grasp on writing the male characters as opposed to your female lead?
I it's okay. Malware actually has a POV in the book. So I do write from his point of view, and I sometimes ask my husband certain questions like, what did it feel like when you did this? Where do you feel your emotions manifest? Do you obsess over these sort of things? And he finally realized what I'm asking him about, so he gives me the straightforward answers. But it's, not that different than from women, weirdly.
Probably not. I mean, people are people.
Yeah,
What show was that? I was watching some show recently, and I was really pleased. Oh, I was watching Farscape,
okay.
and after watching Farscape, I was really not impressed, but happy with how many times the men cried on that show. And no one shamed them for it. I mean, they had their emotions were just as strong as any of the women's emotions on the show. In fact, I think the men cried more than the women did. So, but it was nice. It was a nice change to see men that were not um, afraid of showing their emotions.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think it's like when you write for a character, it's not really that they're a man or a woman, that that's just they're a person, and how they react to things are not necessarily a masculine or a feminine way. And that might be, with her brother, with my character's brother, that I just don't overthink it, which
Yeah.
I tend to overthink quite a bit. Do you find yourself ever having issues where you're overthinking things?
Yes, yes. And then I'm just like, I'm just gonna throw this down right now, get it out. And it turns out that's perfect or pretty close to what I needed to write in the first place.
Yeah, I think you just don't need to think about it, which is easy to give that advice, but it's really hard to take that advice.
Yeah, it really is.
Don't think about it and write. And anybody who's a regular listener of the show knows that we do our writing prompt shows once a month. And I always complain about how difficult it is to just sit and write and not go back and re-edit. And I think that that's something that, we as writers really need to just write it. Don't worry about it. Get those words on the page.
That's really been a helpful thing for me to do. If I know I need something there, but I can't think of it, I just leave a placeholder and I write it in caps and highlight it and just move on.
And that's so smart. And that's why you probably get a lot of words written every day, and you'll be able to churn out a lot of books. Uh,
Hopefully.
so this will be the first one this year, and then you have more coming out next year.
Yeah, I'm working on the second one right now, and then I'm gonna, scoot it through my critique group and yeah, work on that. I probably need to shorten my process a bit because I read it, I put it through, and then I read it again, make changes, put it through, read it again, make changes. It's a little slow, so I think I need to level up, so to speak.
Yeah, you're looking at probably at least a couple a year.
I hope so. That would be nice.
Oh yeah, that's always if you push yourself too much, you get burnout.
Hmm.
If you don't push yourself enough, the readers forget who you are.
Hmm.
So it's a
Yeah.
real fine line. I think make sure that you take off a day a week or 2 days a week. Don't write on the weekends or something like that, just to kind of give yourself a mental break.
Yeah, it's a little hard too to do that when you have your steam going and everything. Because right now I feel really good about everything. I just got done through like well, it wasn't a very actiony thing, but it will be actiony once I get done editing it. But I feel like I'm really got the ball rolling, and I don't want to stop.
Oh no, no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. When the words are flowing, it's always good to just keep going. And yeah, stay up all night, stay up all weekend, get the words out when they are coming, because a lot of the times they don't come. And I think this year especially has been really crazy. I mean, it's just been a crazy year with all sorts of things happening.
Hmm.
But soon the U.S. election will be over on Tuesday, and so that will take a lot of pressure off of people, and that will be nice. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that will help a lot. Yeah, especially for me, it's just been really stressful that we're here in Florida, so it's a battleground state. So every single ad on TV is a political ad.
Yeah, same here. Same here. It's actually quite bad, and I get text messages all along lately. On a whim, I just responded stop to one of them, and they said you're unsubscribed. And I was like, I didn't even know I was subscribed. So I just respond stop, and that's kind of slowed things down, but it's bad. At least with COVID, I'm not having people knocking on my door every day. Sometimes 3 times a day.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah, yeah. We we used to have. I'm sure they're very nice. We had a group from a church. I assume it was a church because it was on Sundays, and they were all dressed very nice, and the ladies all had hats. They looked really nice, but they would go up and down the street knocking on everybody's doors, and we'd do the lay on the floor and hold your breath until they're gone. Because I just don't want to. I don't want to talk with people I don't know about. stuff. I just don't want to. I have a friend though that, where did he live? He would answer the door in a heavy metal shirt with a big snake wrapped around his neck.
Oh no. I don't want to. That would
uh,
definitely put me off.
yeah, for anybody. And the only people who can knock on my door and I will gladly open it are Girl Scouts when they're selling cookies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember scaring years ago. We lived in an apartment complex and we were on the second floor and Girl Scout knocked on my door and I opened it and was so excited that I scared the girl and she ran all the way down the stairs back to her mother.
Come back, I want your cookies.
I did buy like a whole case from her. I said, no, I want cookies. I'm so sorry. I'm just really excited. So, yeah, that's when is Girl Scout cookie time? It's like January.
Um,
Do you know?
I don't know. There's a
Anybody
grocery
know?
store that sells knockoff Girl Scout cookies, and I get my fix year round.
Because this last year, nobody came to my house. So, yeah, if you're a Girl Scout and you have an online site that I can buy Girl Scout cookies from, put a link in the show notes and I will buy some cookies from you, especially if they'll send them to me. So that's great. And unless there's some local place I can go to pick them up, I suppose. So I assume you're like me, that you're stuck in the house and you just can't get out.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
self-isolating. We're lucky enough to have occupations that allow us to do that. Where I'm a writer, so I have to stay home, and my husband is a manager for a advertising company. So he does developmental website stuff or whatever on the computer.
Yeah. So you're lucky. So you can be at home and you don't have to worry
Yeah. And
about
he
leaving
has
the
a
house.
secured network connection or whatever, so we're totally fine.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think anybody can hear it. I think someone turned the shower on in the room next to me. My office, the share a wall with the bathroom,
Oh,
and it's
the
really
neighbor's kid
loud,
has a really
but you can't
loud.
hear it, right?
No, can you hear the neighbor kid?
Oh, that's good. It's like, wow, it's so loud. Um, so okay, and this is one that I sometimes ask people that I'm always surprised by the answer, and sometimes not. And then sometimes I'll have a mutual friend who will say, "I know what they should have said." So as a writer, and kind of, you got the genies and things, but so how do we come upon this that one time? It was something about spirit animals or something. It was where if you have these inner voices, that speak to you and help guide what you're going to write. And I know people that have like sculptures and things around their office and in their rooms, or it's like the people that take the trolls when they go to play bingo,
Oh
and they
yeah,
have like 20 trolls and they pet the trolls, and then that's going to bring them luck. So do you have any? I had my dog. It was my spirit animal, but she's gone now. So I feel kind of lost without her because she would
yeah.
sit underneath my desk. Um, so do you have a something that helps to like guide you?
It's funny that you mentioned your dog because my cat, the whole time I wrote this book, she slept on my lap, snored, drooled all over me, but she passed away last year, and so that was really hard. But while I was researching um, this second book, I was looking up Mayan gods, and I came across one that was like Hun bats and Hun chowler. They're howler monkeys, and they're apparently the patron spirit of writers.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So do you research wise?
Yeah.
Now I'm getting ready to do a series on folklore, and so I've been doing a lot of reading about folklore.
Mhm.
How do you do reading about genies when genies, I mean, you can go back and read 1001 Arabian Nights,
Yeah.
which is, if people haven't read it, you need to. It's a series of stories that Scheherazade tells to the sheik so he doesn't kill her. Every night she tells him a story so that he'll let her live through the I think she had a sister or something too. I need to read it again. But aside from that, uh, how do you research what you're going to write?
So the whole like the genie thing, it's all made up aside from the bottle and you get wishes, 3 wishes, that's all thing. But everything else, like all the, if you're wearing gold or whatever, that's you're a slave, all that stuff. I just made it up because that makes it easy. I'm a lazy writer, so it's easy to just make it up. But like the face stuff, there's a whole trove of information out on the internet that you can just look up and take what works for you, right? That's at least what I'm doing.
Now, with all our time sitting around, I know you're not probably writing all the time. You probably are doing more reading.
Yes, I read a lot. I'm a bookworm, book dragon, whatever. Um, so this reader's block happened to me when I first got really into the critiquing circle that I'm in, and see, the problem is with some of these groups is that they throw rules at you. Like there's like you have to do this sort of thing. You can't chuckle a word, you can't sigh a word, these sort of things and all that, how you write and everything. And I used to read a lot of free books, and because that's what I could afford. I have a steak appetite, but I can only afford a bag of chips. So I get the free books, and I wasn't finding anything. I just was not happy with anything that was being fed to me through all of this. But I just kind of got over myself because I think I had my head up my butt or something. And I was just like, well, if they don't grab you by the first or third, first, second chapter, whatever, then just return it. You don't have to read the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I used to read everything. I bought a book at the dollar store. Adam was in the title, but I forget what the whole title was. This is a book at the dollar store. I thought it was a hardcover. And I kept that for years and years and years. And finally, just one day I said, I paid $1. I'm going to read this whole book. And I did. It actually wasn't horrible, wasn't great. It's so funny. If I'd paid more, I think I would have stopped reading it sooner. But the fact that I got it from the dollar store for some reason, that made me read the whole thing because it was such a bargain, I guess.
Wow.
But I'm with you on the free books.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, sometimes too, if you read too much, or for movies, I used to go to the movies all the time. Every single movie that came out, I went to see, and I saw so many that I got very critical of everything. And so movies
Yeah.
that people liked, I would be like, this and this and this and this and this were wrong with that movie, and it's like, oh, I stopped going so much, so now I can look past a lot of it. Uh, and I think maybe it's the same with books. We have to remember um, there's a lot of them out there. If you're not happy with what you're reading, pick something else.
Yeah, and there are free books out there that I really enjoy reading, and I had a lot of fun reading them. So there's a lot of diamonds out there, but you have to sift through the what coal.
Do you want to get that payout right away in that first chapter that drags you into the story, or are you willing to sit down and let them take their 50, 60, 70 pages to build whatever they're building?
If it depends on the genre that I'm reading. If I'm reading a paranormal romance or an urban fantasy, I expect to be gripped pretty quickly. I mean, and I also, if I like the way that they're writing, I'll read on to the next chapter. And that sometimes has, been a good way to do it because, oh, I'm glad I went on. But like if I'm reading an epic fantasy, then I don't expect something exciting to happen right away. I want to get to know the characters, learn the new world, find out what their, get the traditions or whatever you want to call it. So it really depends on what you're reading. Lately, I've been wanting to be gripped right away. So that's
Then when you put your writer's hat on, are you thinking about the expectations of your readers then? And are you looking at each genre, like in the genre with urban fantasy, or what was the one where you said that you wanted to have more of a build up?
oh, epic fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, if I just don't, as a writer, it's mostly like it's a little easier to write in a modern setting with minimal characters so that you don't have to worry about it. And if you, yeah, you just, I wrote to my expectations, I guess. Like what I was getting tired of writing, I wrote something new because I was tired of writing, and a fantasy with three suns and one continent. I was tired of it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And now with the genie ones, since there isn't a huge genre already out there, you can go ahead and set some of the tropes yourself and create some of the world yourself and not have to worry about, because your reader expectations really aren't going to be there as strong as they would for a historical.
Yeah. Yeah. And, there's probably tons of genie books out there that I just haven't been able to find or realize they were genie books. So,
Yeah, so it sounds like it's a good genre then for finding people, because it's an interesting genre. I mean, when you told me about it, I thought, wow, I didn't know there were books about that, and that is a really cool idea. And yeah, I mean, I love magic, and yeah, I loved I Dream of Jeannie, and it always made me nuts that why the hell is the guy wanting her to not be, not be herself, not be a genie, and why is he hiding these things? And he doesn't have to want riches and things like that, but to forbid her, to be herself.
yeah. And,
That
he's just kind of bossy too. He was all like, Jeannie, do this. Why aren't you doing this right? Like it was always her fault.
Will Ferrell with
Yes.
did a remake, right?
Yeah. With Nicole Kidman. Yeah. They did
Yeah,
remake that. It was kind of funny. I mean, it was a cute little rom-com.
yeah, yeah. And I just, as much as I always say, oh, I'm not a huge fan of romance, I do like some romantic comedies, especially when they're told from the point of view of the man and not the woman.
Oh, have you seen Stranger Than Fiction?
Yes, I love. I've just watched that last week. Love
Yeah.
that movie. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. And of course, Notting Hill is my ultimate favorite movie to watch. And Hugh Grant just such a great job in it. And I love that it's from his point of view, and his feelings. And his roommate was just such a one, such a funny character. I saw him in something recently, and I can't remember what it was. And all I could think was picture him standing there in his underwear, posing for the cameras when they were looking for Julia Roberts. Oh, what was he on? I think he was on Elementary. I think he played Sherlock's brother on Elementary. I think the American version of Sherlock Holmes. So we're doing this early, but by the time this airs, Bad Luck Genie from the Smoke and Magic series will be out.
Yeah.
And so we will have in the show notes links to the book on Amazon.
Yep.
And do you have a mailing list for people to join to find out when future books and snippets and all that great stuff will be happening?
I sure do. I'll give you the link for that as well.
Okay. And website or anything like that?
Yeah. The website is aemckenna.com. So it's pretty simple. I have a blog. I normally talk about video games though.
Yes, that's right. She's a huge video game person. So if you are a video game enthusiast, I highly recommend that you join her mailing list, because I love video games too. I can't play the 3D ones, but I can play the old school linear ones, side to side or up or down. Uh, the new ones I can't do. It just destroys me. But if you want to talk video games, then we'll definitely want to join her mailing list. Most definitely. So thank you so much for coming on today. And we've already told everybody how to find you. So drop down to the show notes and click on those links, and you can get Amy's book. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
And everything we talked about will be in the show notes. So just drop down, have a look, click on the book link, and go grab a copy. You will love it. And let's see, I think that's about it right now. If you have any comments, book suggestions, anything like that, you know what I can do with my hair until I can actually go to a salon? Dear, I'm running out of options. I can't wear hats all the time. Anyway, so that's it for this time. We'll be back next week with another great show. In the meantime, go read a good book.